What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist, and I'm joined here by the lovely
Gershwan.
Today, we're back at it to answer more of your enticing questions in this episode of For the Greater.
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, just comment down below. Put a question in front of your question because we get to those questions first.
Now, you might have noticed that we are out in the great outdoors. However, I do believe for the longest time that there was a tub of I can't believe that's not butter over there.
There is, yeah. Margarine.
I used to know somebody named that.
This question comes from Craig's Cottage. Is there a facial hairstyle you've always wanted or wish you could try? Handlebar, mutton chops, etc. That we're gonna alter your question to make it fit into the 40K universe. And what is the common hairstyle of each? We'll go with races. And the first one that we want to talk about is Space Marines, because we get to see Space Marine hairstyles all the time.
Yeah, pretty often, actually. To me, when I think of Space Marines, it's either they're bald and you can see like the little
Studs.
The studs, yeah, because they themselves are studs.
They are studs.
They're usually bald or they got like a mohawk. You said what?
So I think like they are the same type of hairstyles as like the Peaky Blinder characters. So if you guys watch that Netflix show where it's like kind of faded right here, and then they have like the longer up top, that's probably a certain type of hairstyle. But yeah, that's what it seems like is the most common one.
Yeah.
Now, when you go towards like humanity, I would not be surprised if within like some hive cities, because of the totalitarian nature of most of the Imperium, it's like some North Korea shit where like, you know how in North Korea there's only like 5 different haircuts that were approved by the supreme leader? I wouldn't be surprised if that's what is happening in like the hive cities.
I mean, unless you get down to like the Necromunda stuff, then you get like mohawks and all this crazy stuff.
Yeah. Because in Necromunda you do even have the Escher gangs with like the crazy wild punk inspired haircuts and stuff like that.
Neon colors.
When you get to the Tau,
They pretty much just have like a braid.
it reminds me of the Egyptian thing where it was just like one weird spot of hair that's braid or it's braided.
I think who was it? Was it the Chinese that used to do it where like they're all bald and then they got the long braid in the back?
Yeah. That too. Yep. And then the Eldar, they're pretty long.
Yeah.
Very like neutral, very like straight. Just don't touch it and let it do its thing.
Long hair, don't care.
Yeah.
Necrons, that chrome dome.
Yeah, basically. And then for the orcs, they have a top knot, which I've talked about this in previous episodes. I think top knots look stupid.
Abaddon has one, and I never liked it.
Yeah, I always clip it off on all of my orc minis.
Now, is that a thing that all orcs have hair like that, or is it just like they just style it that way?
I think they just style it that way. But then again, I've never seen an orc model with hair other than that.
That's true.
Yeah, so.
I feel like we're forgetting a big race. Oh, the Necrons.
No, we said the Necrons.
Or not the Necrons, sorry, the Tyranids.
Oh, Tyranids? Yeah, I mean.
He's got peach fuzz.
Yeah.
Ew.
They don't even care about hair. They have realized that evolutionarily speaking, hair is just to attract mates, and they don't need to attract mates when they themselves fuck each other.
That's true.
And then just to answer your question, what facial hairstyle would you want? Do you have one?
I just wish I could grow a full beard.
Yeah.
Like, I got, like, patches where, like, nothing grows, so this is pretty much the best I can do.
According to TikTok, if you use Rogaine on your face,
Rogaine.
it will work.
TikTok has never been wrong.
Never.
What about you?
I don't think I have a hairstyle that I think I would want. When I was younger, because I have really straight hair, and I have like that Asian hair, where like if it gets to a certain length, because I used to always have fades, and then if it gets past the fade, the hairs just stick out. So I look like one of those Cabbage Patch doll
Cabbage
thingies.
Patch Kids. Those things are scary.
So I always felt like when I was younger, like, oh, it'd be nice to have curlier hair or wavy hair. That way, like, actually goes down instead of just shooting up. But yeah, now I don't really care. I just don't want it to recede. And it's receding. Next question.
This one is by Nikoe. What do you think would happen in one day, or if in one day every single Inquisitor was killed or simply died without explanation? There's probably be like an investigation looking into it to see if it was some type of like psychic attack or somebody was, because if everybody died in a day, like that's kind of
Fishy.
yeah, it's like something's going on. There's more than meets the eye.
Yeah.
Transformers. So yeah, definitely there'd be investigations into it.
It just sounds like a plot that like a High Lord would do.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's trying to get away with something or create another like Goge Van Dyer situation where he takes control of the entire Imperium. But yeah. Next question.
This one is by Shinku Kiritu Ichika. If somehow all the loyalist missing primarchs returned, what would happen? How will all chapters react to this? And what positions would Gilliman assign them if he did? So if all the loyalist primarchs came back, definitely it has to be something big. Like the end times are upon us. The emperor has died or something like that. And these guys are coming back to hopefully save the Imperium. Like I can't see any other reason why GW would bring them all back for no reason at all, really. It has to be something big, monumental, apocalyptic.
The end of 40K as we know it and
Yeah.
the introduction of 50K.
Mm-hmm. Now, I don't think Gilliman would actually appoint them positions and stuff like that, because obviously if he tells like Lehman Russ what to do, I doubt he'll listen.
Right.
I don't even think if they would appoint like positions like that. Like they might just control their own sector of space, and that might be it.
Yeah. The possibilities really are endless.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
I mean, because oftentimes when you read the novels of like the heresy and stuff like that, there's different authors, so things do change slightly between author to author. Like in one book, for example, the Custodes are getting their spines ripped out by the Gao of Vorbak, while in the other one it says they are the pinnacle of fighters in the universe. No one can take them down. So it's like, well, what am I supposed to believe?
Right.
It all depends on who's writing it and the plot armor given to whatever focus of the book it is.
Yeah.
So with that being said, it depends on the writer as to what they'll be doing.
Yeah. Next question. This one comes from all the way to Z2. Are those neatly stacked sweaters next to the Sound Alchemist? There's a suburban porn movie aesthetic vibe to this set. So in last week's those are actually how do you say cobijas in English?
Quilts.
Quilts. Those are quilts.
Yeah, it is quilt.
Yeah.
Because they're not sábanas,
No.
and that is comforters.
No, comforters would be. Comforters would be like the big colchas.
Colchas, sábanas, cobijas.
Yeah. It is a suburb vibe. I think we got it down pat.
So I think this is a hint from you guys that we really need to start that OnlyFans.
We should.
Oh, and it's funny because I mentioned, One Mind Syndicate OnlyFans after dark, but you guys said it should be after grim dark.
Grimdark.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing but blood. Jason Kajalin asks, what do you do for a living? I'm just curious. Keep safe, guys. Are you asking because you're afraid that we are going to die of COVID? We're from the U.S., so we're from Illinois too. Luckily, this state closed pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So we are over the deadliness of the pandemic. We know that there are some countries right now that are still suffering. But so far, like a lot of the people around us, got vaccinated, stayed inside, did their part, and now we can be safe. We can finally go into places and not wear masks. eat at restaurants and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we're good.
Yeah.
Luckily.
Could be a lot worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, considering, the state of the world.
Yeah. And it's hard to breathe, regardless, so.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Emissions and whatnot.
Thanks for the concern. Hope you guys are also staying safe.
This next question is by Mr. Ducky Duck 2.0. Hey guys, hope y'all are having a good day today, but here's the question. Where do y'all like to purchase y'all minis at? And also, what kind of paints do you use for them? For the longest time, I think there's just two main avenues that we did to get our minis, and that was either like eBay or going to like the GW store.
Right.
The GW store is if you need something quick now, and eBay is if like you wanted more of like pre-built stuff, just bits, or fully painted armies.
Yep. For me, it was always I would lean more towards like the GW store because I didn't have the patience to wait, like order something and then wait like 3 months, sometimes for eBay, because you know how eBay sellers are just like ugh.
Yeah, sometimes it's like, well, hey, I paid you. You said you'd ship in 2 days. It's been 2 weeks. What's up?
Yeah. Funny enough, I'm like that though. But yes, even right now, ordering from Amazon, even though you have a next day delivery, I feel like it doesn't get delivered the next day. It's like the next day.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. But yeah. Oh, and then tester paints.
Yeah.
For me. Yeah.
I've just used like the GW Citadel paints. I don't know. Oh no, wait. When I first started, I used the cheap like 69 cents Walmart paints.
The acrylic stuff.
Yeah, those chip after a while, so I wouldn't recommend those.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the GW paints are all right. A little pricey, but like you said, testers are pretty good.
Yeah, the reason I like tester paints too is because it's the accessibility. I don't have to drive very far. All I have to do is either go to Hobby Lobby or Michael's, which is just down the street from me, and then you can buy the value packs. So it'd be like 10 paints with paint thinner for like $15, whereas like with the GW paints, each one is like $250.
If that.
Yeah, sometimes they're more.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
They do have a thing going on right now where it's like if you buy 9, you get the 10th one free. So this next question is by Andrea Necci. What are your favorite original chapters and successor chapters for the Space Marines? Mine are the Salamanders and the Carcharodons / Tome Keepers. That's interesting. The Tome Keepers are fairly new, so it's cool that they're like your favorites.
Yeah, and this is always changing for me. I think for first founding chapter, it would probably have to be the Imperial Fists. I just like yellow, and I like the city fighting aspect of them. I also like the story of Rogodorn. I think he's just like the unspoken hero, like he's stoic.
Successor.
Let me think. Currently, I don't think I have a favorite successor chapter, to be honest.
I thought you were going to say like the Crimson Fists.
Yeah, that's actually popped into my head.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I feel like the Crimson... I've never played Crimson Fists. I just like their color scheme.
Yeah. And they're the closest thing to us having a Cholo chapter.
Yeah, because they have, what, Cato Cantor or something?
Pedro Cantor.
Pedro Cantor, there you go.
Yeah, that's legit his name.
Yeah.
Pedro Cantor.
What about you?
Again, it's always changing between like 4 of them. Sometimes it's the Thousand Suns. Sometimes it's the Blood Angels. I'll go Blood Angels this time. For successors, I really like the look and just like the lore for the Black Dragons.
Oh, yeah.
Because they got like freaking like bones that pop out of their skin, and they use them to like fight and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty cool concept. I wish GW would focus more on them. Their armor is just black and white, which is really simple. And then you've got like the bone protrusions, which makes it look real cool.
Yeah.
What about you guys? Let us know down below.
Next question comes from NVD77764. Am I racist? Last time I played D&D, I played a very old gnome called Maria, who had a bard respecied as a cleaning lady, who was a bard as a cleaning lady, like cleaning the group armor to buff them, shining the swords. Acid Spay became Spay Pledge. She was essentially Consuela from the Family Guy and did the voice. No.
That was really good.
Yeah. No, that's not racist. You're just playing. I was thinking about this. I was talking to a friend, and we were talking about how like I like watching old timey movies. So like the Casablanca, like all those types of movies, because they have really solid stereotypes, and it's easy for you to watch it and just like turn your brain off and just enjoy the story or the thing, and you don't have to feel like they're just pre-established stereotypes that fit in.
I think I get you, because I just recently saw that Army of the Dead movie on Netflix.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but yeah.
And I agree, like you have like in every action movie you have like the big tough guy who's like doesn't want to show his feelings, and you've got like the cholo guy who's like shooting with his pistol to the side and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You've got the smart dude that doesn't know how to fight, and it's like, that's exactly what this movie is. It's an action flick where you just turn off your brain. They give you the stereotypes of each individual character really early on, so that you know what to expect.
Yep.
And also to kind of give you a little twist, where it's like, huh? The big tank has feelings? What?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's a very simple way of storytelling. It's easy for many people to understand, but at the same time, it's like, you are kind of feeding into the whole stereotype thing.
Yeah, which isn't bad for D&D, because I think D&D, sometimes people think that you're supposed to come up with like a super original character and it's supposed to be groundbreaking, and it's like, no, you could just come in here and play the cleaning lady if you wanted to, because we all know that stereotype. Just like when I play D&D, no matter what character I play, I always end up just playing the kind of like, what would you describe it as? Just like the drunk like fighter guy who just wants to like start shit.
Yeah. The instigator.
The instigator, yeah. Like that's just naturally what I gravitate towards.
And it's like, we know this going into D&D, so it's like when we walk into like a tavern, it's like, all right, this guy is going to somehow, some way find a way to start, something up. So it's like we got to kind of account for that in our role playing. Yeah. Or maybe that's exactly what we need. So it's like, hey, you go in there.
Yeah, and then pick a fight.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't think that's racist. I think that's just you playing on stereotypes. Maybe it lacks creativity a little bit, but that's about it.
This next one is by Damned Legion. What is the anatomy of the different races in 40K? Like, are there boobs on Eldar or Tau? Dude, just look up fan art.
Yeah.
That'll tell you everything you need to know.
Because there is.
And I don't think your question is, what's the anatomy? I think you just wanted to ask, are there boobs on Tau and Eldar?
I think you wanted to ask, can I jerk off to the characters of 40K? And the answer is yes.
Because, Eldar evolved from slugs. There's no, like...
They're extra moist.
Yeah. Like, there's no need for them to have fatty sacks of milk to feed their young.
Right. Fatty sacks of milk. This question comes from Puppy SB. I'm trying to make a homebrew chapter based on Puerto Rican and Cuban influences. My background is that they come from a planet originally colonized by Caribbean people. Their signature weapon is a power machete. Do you think it sounds cool? Saludos desde Puerto Rico. You should. Your chapter master should be, what's his name? Hector Alvo or something like that? The salsa guy? Yeah.
Yeah, because we've seen a bunch of different like homebrews based on like nationalities and like regional locations of like current day Earth. Yeah, you could easily do something like that. The Carcharodons, they get a lot of influence from like, was it Maori?
Yeah, or Peloponnesian.
Yeah, Polynesian.
Polynesian, yeah.
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 What is it? The Jaguars. they're basically like Aztec.
The Blood Jaguars,
Yeah.
yeah, they're the Aztecs. Well, you should check out our 40 facts on creating a homebrew chapter, or how to create a homebrew chapter. I basically go over how a good homebrew chapter usually has a strong theme, and you have it like Cuban, Puerto Rican stuff. So like, I don't know how deep you want to get into like the Afrocentric like Cuban and Puerto Rican side, or whether you want to go more of like the colonizing like Spanish, and have like really badass terrain that depicts like haciendas inside of like their fortress monastery, stuff like that. But that's the fun part of it. Like, you take a theme and then you go with it. Like you said, like the Aztecs. I've even seen some Egyptian themed stuff.
Yeah.
That for Space Marines, yeah, they're really, really badass. But then you just have to figure out exactly what it is that you want to portray about those regions, because they're islands. So does that mean that you're gonna, like, you should check out our 40 facts on, are they called the Emperor Spears, I think?
Yeah, Spears of the Emperor.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah, they're really like island inspired too, and they actually have like spears that they would go fishing with and stuff like that. So like nets and stuff.
Yeah. Also, your 40 facts on water worlds in 40K.
Yep.
Yeah, if you want to have like a, not like a fortress monastery, but actually have like a recruitment world where they get people from, maybe that's something to look into.
Yeah. But yeah, the possibilities are endless.
Yes.
The one trouble that I would say with the Puerto Rican inspired or themed Space Marine chapter would be, it's difficult to make that color scheme not look like the American color scheme.
Yeah, the white, blue, and red.
Because like we've all seen the meme of like Captain America is not really Captain America, it's Captain Puerto Rico, because he has one star. So yeah, red, white, and blue. It's hard to create a good color scheme off that.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's too gimmicky to literally just put like the flag as like the symbol.
Yeah, be a little bit more creative.
Yeah, because also like you got to think like this is taking place way in the future. It's like, do they even know about like the history of like Terra when it was known as Earth back then?
Yeah, because technically I don't even think that the Caribbean, because they had like different, the techno-barbarian warlords were part of certain areas.
Yeah, they really terraformed Terra, like to the point where it was almost like you couldn't distinguish what was what.
They're just continents, really.
Yeah,
it's like Europe, Africa, Asia, North America, South America. Check out our 40 facts on the Unification War if you guys want more information on that too, more background. And those are the questions for today.
Yeah, thanks guys for giving us those questions. Very interesting questions this time around. Be sure to comment more questions so we can get to those next time, and also think about where we might be.
Where are we going to be?
Here, there,
everywhere. This was Gershwan,
the Sound Alchemist, and we are out.
Always used to put my freedom first.